What will the future of humanity be? What mysteries await our species in the next millennium? In my opinion, it would be interesting to explore how the physical appearance of humans will project, let's say, 1,000 years, considering the evolutionary factors that influence the external transformation of the human body over the long term. However, if we really want to imagine a distant future for humanity, we should consider two main paths: the biblical future and the Darwinian future. According to the biblical view, the future of humanity would be predestined and determined by an undefined point in the future where the final judgment before God will take place. This would lead to the total cessation of the human physical experience on Earth. Essentially, it would be the shortest existential option, with a certain end for our species. On the other hand, and this is the theme I will address in this video, the Darwinian view suggests that humans will continue to transform without limits or end, in a continuous evolutionary process. This leads us to ask, what will the human being look like, given enough time, favorable environmental, social, and technological conditions? The evolution of humanity has never stopped, and in the next 1,000 years, our physical appearance will continue to change, influenced by environmental, technological, and cultural factors. Changes to our biology will result from increasingly artificial habits, reduced exposure to nature, and genetic interventions on our own species. Technological innovation and the growing integration between humans and machines could lead to induced mutations, with cybernetic implants and targeted genetic enhancements aimed at optimizing survival and productivity. In this video, I will explore in detail what the human of the future might look like and what processes will determine its appearance. Imagine a future where humans become more and more hairless, with less body hair. It's actually a pretty likely change. In the past, hair was useful for keeping the body warm and protecting us from the environment. But now, with our controlled environments and technology taking over, hair is becoming unnecessary. Think about it. Today, people remove body hair with waxing, shaving, and lasers. And if this trend continues, it's easy to imagine a day when we might not have any hair at all, with genetics favoring those born with less body hair. Along with hair loss, human skin could become much more delicate and uniform. Why? Because we live more indoors, away from the sun, and we use sunscreen to protect ourselves from UV rays. This could reduce melanin, the substance that gives our skin its color, making it lighter and more sensitive. If we look at people who live in cities, often with little sun, we already see lighter skin compared to those living in sunnier areas, where the skin darkens as a natural defense. Then, there's all the technology we use every day. Electronic devices, artificial lighting, and other environmental factors are already changing our bodies. Skin is becoming more delicate, and it's a trend we see in cities, where the indoor lifestyle makes the skin adapt to be thinner and less resistant. In the future, our skin might evolve to better handle the artificial environment we're creating. Imagine implants or genetic modifications that could improve skin protection, making it stronger and more resistant to external damage. In short, hair loss and skin changes are just part of how we're adapting to the modern world. Our bodies continue to evolve in response to new technologies and lifestyles, and who knows, maybe 1,000 years from now, humans will look completely different from what we know today. In the future, one significant change we might see is an expansion in our skulls to accommodate a larger brain. As artificial intelligence continues to evolve and we become more reliant on technology, our brains may grow in size to handle all the information we process. Right now, the more we use technology, the more it affects our brain's plasticity, and over time, this could lead to more brain development. Some studies even suggest that as we deal with more complex information daily, we might need more brain space, which could cause our skulls to expand in the coming centuries. As a result of this, our faces might change as well. We could see more elongated faces with less prominent features, especially in terms of our jaws. Why? Because our diets are becoming softer and more processed, reducing the need to chew tough food. In fact, we can already see this happening today in modern societies where eating processed foods has made us chew less, which over time has led to smaller jaws and more dental problems, like overcrowded teeth. Another interesting change could come from the rise of digital communication. With more and more of our interactions happening through screens and text, we may not need to rely on exaggerated facial expressions as much. This could result in softer, less pronounced facial features, like thinner eyebrows or less prominent cheekbones. If we continue down this path of mostly virtual interaction, future humans might have more symmetrical faces with smoother contours. Also, eyes could become larger over time to better adjust to the constant use of digital devices. With all the screen time, our eyes might evolve to help us read and view digital content more comfortably, especially in environments with artificial lighting. In a nutshell, the way we communicate, eat, and interact with technology will shape the way we look in the future, and these changes could be pretty noticeable over the next 1,000 years. As modern humans spend more and more time sitting and less time engaging in physical activity, we're seeing a steady decline in muscle mass. Recent studies show that our sedentary lifestyles are already having an impact on our muscles, leading to increased muscle atrophy and even a reduction in bone density. If this trend continues for thousands of years, humans could become noticeably leaner and less muscular over time. One possible change is that our legs might become longer compared to our torsos, which would make walking more efficient with less effort. We already see this in certain populations that live in areas with wide, open spaces, where longer limbs help them move more efficiently. If future generations of humans no longer need to rely on strength for survival, evolution might favor a body structure that's more fragile and slender, with an emphasis on efficiency over power. Posture is another area that could change dramatically. With the increasing amount of time we spend sitting, whether for work, gaming, or using digital devices, our bodies are adapting in ways that may not be ideal for long-term health. We're already seeing the effects of this in the form of text neck, a condition caused by the constant forward tilt of the head as we look down at our phones and screens. If this trend of screen-based work and communication continues, we could see a noticeable change in the way our spines develop, with more pronounced curvatures, making humans in the future more inclined forward than they are now. The rise of virtual reality and advanced neural interfaces might also contribute to this trend. As technology advances, the need for physical movement could decrease. People may spend more time interacting with digital worlds, which could lead to weaker muscle tone overall. Today, we already see this happening in office workers and professional gamers, many of whom experience posture-related issues due to long hours spent sitting or looking at screens. If this pattern becomes more widespread, human bodies may evolve to require less energy for movement, prioritizing efficiency and adaptability to the artificial environments we're creating. In the end, these changes, while they may seem subtle, would have a major impact on how our bodies develop over time. As our environment becomes more reliant on technology and less on physical exertion, our physical form will likely adapt to these new ways of living. Future humans might have a body more suited to an indoor, screen-based world, with less need for the strength and posture that we rely on today. Looking ahead, our diets are probably going to change drastically. Instead of traditional foods, we'll likely see highly synthesized meals that are genetically modified to give us exactly what we need in terms of nutrients. Right now, we're already seeing foods enriched with vitamins and minerals, and lab-grown meat and 3D printed food are giving us a glimpse of a future where every meal is custom designed for individual needs. If this trend continues, our digestive systems could shrink because our bodies won't need to work as hard to process perfectly optimized food. For example, people who eat more refined and softer foods tend to have less robust teeth, with fewer molars and weaker jaws. If solid foods become less common in the future, the human jaw could get even smaller, resulting in a rounder, less prominent face shape. On top of that, genetic engineering might start playing a huge role in our biology. We could be talking about editing out hereditary diseases and even modifying genes to boost physical strength and intelligence. With CRISPR technology already allowing us to fix genetic disorders, it's not far-fetched to think that in the future, it could help us live longer or enhance cognitive abilities. For instance, we could see genetic changes that make our metabolism more efficient, reducing the daily calorie needs, and making us more resilient to things like malnutrition or extreme temperatures. And let's not forget about aesthetics. With genetic engineering, future humans might be able to select traits they want, which could mean fewer congenital defects, more symmetrical body proportions, and skin that resists aging and disease better. This could lead to more uniformity in how people look across different populations, which would reduce the diversity in traditional physical traits. So, in short, the future of food and genetic engineering could reshape us in ways we can't even fully imagine yet. With food becoming more tailored and our genes being adjusted to enhance health and performance, the human body will definitely evolve in response to these massive changes. Whether it's a more efficient digestive system, a smaller jaw, or even a new look, we're in for some wild transformations down the road.